thinking about the word evidence and what it actually it means, and how that has how that's on display in the COVID crisis, because what everyone sees is exactly what you quickly and eloquently described, right? A kind of cacophony of evidence, of claims, of fact claims, of truth claims, of claims of authority, of claims of speaking for science, and let's say a melange of policy responses of different countries, all presumably with access to the best experts in the world, choosing different policy pathways. So I think one thing that it's illustrating is the idea of evidence cannot be separated from the ideas of governance and policy and democracy, and we can get to that. We can get to that later. But maybe a first place to start is that it reveals that evidence is not this thing out there to be grabbed and plugged into a policy. Evidence is itself a kind of complicated idea, and terms like, I think COVID reveals that terms like evidence-based policy are at best kind of shallow, and at worst maybe kind of deceptive. And so what we're seeing is that it's a complicated world, and evidence is something we create. We choose what to measure, what to assess, what to describe as evidence, what to give validity to. We don't choose it utterly arbitrarily, of course, but it's a rich world and we have many options. And so if you think about just an issue like mask wearing policies, there's plenty of what one might call science out there dating back really more than a century, both that can be used to guide a variety of policies and that can be used to support a variety of political positions in the U.S., where mask wearing has become a kind of a political hot button around questions of what authority does government have to tell me what to do. There's lots of information that people who are interested in that particular perspective on mask wearing that they can call on as evidence for their position. So the politics become very, very difficult, maybe acutely difficult in this country. So I think one thing COVID does is it simply shows that the word evidence is a word that needs to be not just thrown around as if it's some equivalent of rationality or agreed upon truth. It's a troubling kind of grab bag that often has political content in and of itself because it's associated with words like science and truth. And I guess the other point I'd make just to begin with is evidence is often, the word is often used specifically for contested situations, right? So if you think about the courtroom, which I think is a really interesting kind of institutional setting to unwind some of these issues, evidence is something that both sides get, right? And both sides get experts. So evidence, again, is not this thing that's out there waiting to be found and applied to a policy, but it is it's really, in some sense, it describes a process by which people make sense of the world as they see it and want to see it and would like to see it in the future.